Hey everyone! If you're enjoying the coverage of the Pro Play Tour Online series, just remember, you can play in one yourself. Every Thursday you can enter our free weekly 64-player tournament with invites to the entire Top Cut. Every Saturday is our weekend championship, where you can enter a YCS-type event with 100% payout and even a cash payout option. The more players, the bigger the prizes. Can't commit time to play in our one-day events? We also host multiple 8-man pods daily, ready to fire on demand on your own schedule. All these events award invites to our free invite-only Players Championship, May 9th through 10th, with prizes supplied by our sponsors. For more information, visit ppgeventmanagement.com and come play with the pros.
What's up, guys? It's Jam1 from Jam1 TCG, coming at you guys with some totally awesome commentary. We are in the top 8 of the Pro Play Games Tour, Player Invitational only. And this is the finals, guys. We got an interesting match with you guys. We have the hero, the champ, the only Pendulum player, the best deck, he calls it, TRIF Gaming, in the finals. I'm joined here with Dale and Elise Davis herself, previous champion in Pro Duelist. How you guys doing today?
Not bad. How about you?
I'm good. I'm ready to watch some totally awesome YuGiOh content. So we're about to see. How do you guys think? I know you guys have been watching. What do you think about the game so far in the finals?
I think it'll be pretty interesting. This matchup, I think, will be really dice roll reliant, just because they're both kind of like combo setup decks. But it'll be interesting to see if like TRIF has any techs against. But it looks like TRIF won the die roll.
Sure, he's starting off with Magician Souls here. His draw engine going.
It's a good start already, really, isn't it?
Indeed.
How about you? And has the chronograph, so that initially gets him enough pluses. Losses yesterday, so I don't think he really plays much in the realm of hand traps. I think TRIF is pretty good to go off right now.
Sure, yeah, it's kind of dangerous, really. Let a Pendulum player go off. His end board's going to be, well, especially when he's getting the draw engine going as well, it's going to be pretty nasty to deal with.
Indeed. Yeah, we saw yesterday on one of his feature matches, he drew like over 10 cards. I don't even remember how many, but his board was disgusting afterwards. And it's just similar to Adamancipators, how they just build this entirely crazy board. Like, Pendulums are known for that as well.
Do we know if either of these are main in Dark Ruler?
I don't know. I know TRIF was siding it. At least we saw it in game 2, so I assume he was siding it. Not sure about Code Atlas, though.
I don't recall seeing it in Code's deck either. I think it's a really good choice to start maining again, especially since Eldlick is taking a turn to the combo variant. So I think it's definitely strong to potentially main, but we'll see if they have it or not.
Sure.
It's usually what it's coming down to. Build my board, break my board. So it'll be very interesting to see how much TRIF puts out in this opening hand as well, not knowing what he's got, and then how much Code can respond.
Ooh, and we got the Spell Power Mastery, so that's gonna easily allow TRIF to get close to the board he wants.
Yeah, the more spell counters, the more power this deck generates, especially with the Endymion engine, as we mentioned yesterday. It seems like the Endymion engine in Pendulums just gave it a whole new level of power that it never had before. Not as good as Pepe, but it's still pretty strong.
It's amazing how Pendulums are still up here. When they lost Electromite as well, it just kind of comes to show that if you're a player of TRIF's caliber and you stick at a deck, you can get pretty much anywhere you want.
I think that's very important too. A lot of players jump from deck to deck thinking like, okay, I'm just going to follow the new hottest deck. But if you just take the time to master a deck, you can do some things that most players have never even encountered, as you were just saying.
Oh, this card is interesting. Magician's Restage. That's kind of cool.
Issue, it says you can target one level 3 or lower spellcaster monster in your graveyard, special summon it. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field.
Yeah, so it
Oh,
just
he's
gave
using
it,
Magician's Hand.
and he got to add the Magician's right hand and also gain more advantage off the souls. That's actually like really cool.
For sure. Magician's right hand was another tech that like I haven't seen like Pendulum players playing. Like it basically says it's kind of like that Mermail card where you get to negate the first spell card that your opponent activates.
That's
Normally, it's
one
really
of the best ones out of Dark Ruler.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What you just mentioned, like Dark Ruler, would be what we were just saying earlier. Both of you guys were saying how that would be a good card to break boards. Well, I mean, he gets that up, it'll literally say no to Dark Ruler.
Yeah, it's amazing that that card has consistency now just because of the one, the restage. Like, that's actually, like, makes the card even 10 times better just because before it was just inconsistent to draw, but now you can even just get rid of it with souls. Like, that potential is so cool. And he has the Jackal, so... Oof.
This board is looking insane already, and he's not even yet. Basically, the Jackal, that no Nibiru stuff, even if he had it, if code has it to respond. No hand traps now.
Yeah, I mean, this is impressive. The fact I thought Souls was gone. I wasn't even expecting to see that come back to the board. The fact that he used the restage to get that, and you were saying earlier that he was drawing like 10 cards yesterday. I'm pretty sure he's on 8 now. It's scary.
Look at his deck. He's literally tutored through his entire deck at this rate.
I suppose that's got to be the one big gamble, though, is if his board does get broken, he's not got a lot of resource to come back out of his main deck. So everything he will be relying on will be in his hand, whatever remains on the field, or whatever in his extra deck.
Indeed. You see Salim come down also. That card is also insane. Cross Sheep into, yeah, we seen him do this yesterday too. Cross Sheep into Vortex into bringing back souls. So Vortex represents an Omni Negate there. IP Masquerena will be more interruption to his opponent, and as Elise mentioned, the Jackal, like that just literally cancels all the monster effects. And then we also see the right hand, the Magician's right hand, which we mentioned will negate the first spell card that Code Alos attempts to use.
And getting the second Celine on the board is really nice, too. Now, like... Oof.
Incredible. This is top 8 matches, so we're seeing it.
It just doesn't stop. It just keeps going.
No, right? Does he need Appaloosa in? Mighty Master Magic.
I mean, you're playing against Adamancipators, which is like arguably the best deck of the format right now, so I think you need to have this insane of a board to be able to combat it properly.
X. Let's see how Code goes with this.
I'm gonna predict it just goes to game 2, just because, you know, saving time, but we'll see if he drew that nutty or not.
Sure.
Double Dark Ruler, that's it. That's all he needs.
I was gonna
Double
say,
Dark Ruler and a way to break.
maybe.
Guardian,
Even that
not
might
bad
not
start.
be a no. Guardian normal summon, staring down all of these giant behemoths doesn't seem like it's gonna do much. Reveals a researcher.
A lot to go through, a lot.
Indeed.
Yeah, because
You know,
5 monster gates, so...
he's going to be impressive.
Indeed. It's just interesting to see like how the Rock deck now has to deal with what it's been doing to people all format. It wasn't
Top
from
8,
a mirror.
this is what they're here for. No, this is what they're here for though. You get to top 8, you're going to be good enough to, you know, if anyone's going to break boards like this, it's going to be people that are in the top 8 right now.
Oh, indeed. Like, I'm not counting Code Alos out by any stretch of the imagination. We have no idea, like, what he's cooking up himself.
Looks like the Jackal will negate. So unless he has insane resources left in hand, I think like it has to be literally insane. Otherwise, I think Code will just have to give the game to TRIF.
Sure.
He's already lost one extension researcher. There's no more. Guardian's not going to let him go any further, so I mean, what? Block Dragon plus 3 rocks, and you just negging yourself anyway.
Though I will say, like, the summoning the Guardian does kind of help a little bit, because it'll force, like, you know, if TRIF decides to negate, then he can negate also. But yeah, there goes the cassette shit. Never mind.
Still looking to earn your invite for the free Players Championship on May 9th and 10th? Visit ppgeventmanagement.com to learn about the different qualifiers available. From one-day events to play-on-your-own schedule events, all events offer a buyback or cash option, along with a 100% credit option redeemable towards any future pre-order at competitive prices. Grinding and getting paid to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Has never been easier. Play with the most professional worldwide tournament series today and join the online community. Come join us on Discord for assistance, info, and even discussions about future events.
Adamancipator, TRIF can't really afford to side as much just because it can, like, his engine gets a lot more ruined by the random hand traps. Like, I think the best thing he can maybe potentially think of siding in is, like, maybe Sphere Mode, because his normal summon isn't as important, but he makes TRIF go first.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Must be trying to, as we mentioned, break the board himself this time, but with more resources from his side deck this time. Because going second does mean that Cole will get a 6th card.
Yeah, and I guess he
TRIF sets up
TRIF oversides, so for going second and doesn't draw his combo pieces.
That's a plan. That's actually like a good psychological warfare thing that side decking involves. You know, there's so much more to side decking than just, okay, this card is good for this matchup, you know?
Still got the souls though. That's gonna help.
Souls. But yeah,
Which is that Dark Ruler.
he didn't need it because he's not going second. And he could also have another one for all we know.
But then would you keep 2? Or would you ditch the 2 for the draws? Because it could then help you combo further.
True. To see what Code's going to respond to. And I'm also curious to see how TRIF's board will end now that we just mentioned his side deck could also interfere with his combos too much. Will he have enough to, like, extend as much as he did? We'll find out.
Yeah, and I feel like if TRIF had a normal summon right now, he would have already done it. Instead, he set up his scales, so I think his board's going to be awkward, but potentially manageable. Unless he's going to try and go off with his reflection, but that still leaves him with so few cards. So I guess we'll see what he does.
I mean, you can't expect anywhere near... We've got 2 cards left in hand. You can't expect anywhere near close to what he had last turn. But then does that affect Code? Because if Code has sided in prepared to deal with a bigger board, could he not clog himself down? If he opens up Dark Rulers right now...
Ooh.
Okay,
This is
so
very mediocre.
Yeah, he only has to deal with 2 interruptions, so Code definitely made the better play in this instance. I don't think I agree with it per se, but it's going to work out for him right now.
Yeah, at least I agree in that situation because it was risky, but it looks like he might actually get away with it.
Yeah, I just don't like the justification because it promotes bad playing, you know, further on down the road, but I guess we'll see what happens.
So yeah, these spirit things, they come out like if you don't control, I think you have to control no effect monsters, yeah, so they can just, they're free special summons basically.
The one thing TRIF's got to keep in mind is they also have, I'm not sure if Code would actually play a vanilla monster, but if they control a vanilla monster, they get additional effects in the graveyard. So that could be something that, if Code has it as a little sneaky tech, will catch TRIF out.
Oh yeah, you're right, Dale. I've actually been seeing some lists lately too that they have been including like some vanilla monsters in there. So maybe this is why, because they want to get that extra code. Effects like you were just mentioning in Graveyard.
I've seen Adamancipators players playing the beta. Is it beta, alpha, and gamma? The Magnet Warriors. So that could always be interesting.
Yeah, because they play the unexpected die package just to make it so there's an extra extender. But we see the Guardian come down, which I think will hopefully allow Code the extension he needs.
It's met with a Pankratops pop right off the get-go. Fair trade, I would say.
I think that's quite big because Code's just used his normal on Guardian. The Tenyi Spirit isn't a rock, so he needs another form of extension to get another rock monster on.
Oh my goodness! Is that Neo's fusion?
Oh yeah, I did see this in his deck yesterday. I was completely perplexed by it, but that's just insane.
My goodness! This is the first time I think I've seen Rock Deck use this card. What?
That's so good.
Neos is on the field in Emancipator deck, guys. Or was he maining it? What do you guys think?
I mean, I could check the replay I had against him, but I think it was in his side. Don't quote me on it though, but I know I saw it in my match against him. I think it's really interesting because, especially with how much Eldlik is getting the boost lately, this is definitely a good choice to help deal with all the Eldlik decks because this can almost be an auto win against them.
Yeah, this is interesting indeed. Oh my goodness. This is the first time we've seen this in the PPG stream, I believe.
Yep, maybe he's Neos now to get rid of everything TRIF has in his scales, and then if he has extra extenders in his hand, he can combo. Otherwise, if he just sits like this, I think he'll just be winning either way, and it looks like we are just getting a pass.
Yeah, that effect is devastating. For those who don't know, it can shuffle monsters back into the graveyard, monsters back on the field, or spell and trap cards back into the deck. And that's what he did. He shuffled TRIF's scales. And then, yeah, TRIF just passes. Monster Reborn coming down.
This should just be game at this point. I don't. Oh, and he gets a pink.
Wow, he brought back his own pink. Yeah, this should be over. He's gonna pop it if he needs. Yep. Yeah. Scoops there. Wow.
It would be interesting if that is a side engine. How big the engine is. I mean, you need at least Neos plus Rainbow Dragon, and the one he actually not there. First, so. Yeah.
Well, yeah, TRIF goes first. Like he said, going for the bread and butter, at least most likely here.
Has he got it?
Yeah, engine 2. Because it's like, I don't think they would have room in the main deck for it. And if it is side deck, it's like, how much are you dedicating? Does the Anaconda also in there? I don't know. It's very interesting indeed. It put in work, so hey.
He does play Anaconda as well. Okay. I do remember that in my match against him.
I suppose the real question is how many of the fusion you play, like how many of the fusion spell you play. That's the only thing that you could really fluctuate between 1 and 3 depending on how consistent you want it. But then, like you said, rely on Anaconda and problems sorted for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just for consistency's sake, especially since he has to side in a Neos and a Rainbow Dragon, then, oh yeah, that Ash is hopefully going to be enough, because he just has to play a Demi into the scale and just pend, so rough.
What is it? This can end on what? 2? No, Appaloosa maybe, plus the Master Endymion, but.
Well, I think first he'll probably attempt to go into Celine and see if he can bring back his Jackal King, and then see what else he can do from there.
We'll see what way he takes. I remember specifically watching a few. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it doesn't look like he can generate much more spell counters. So he's already kind of... I mean, Celine bringing back Jackal, completely agree. How much more does he then build off of Celine? If you take the 3 off to bring back Jackal, you still only sit on 2 counters for your Jackal. You still need a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, I remember specifically watching some of TRIF's videos like a couple weeks ago, and he was saying how he plans to get Ash, so follow up afterwards or something like that. So we'll see. But yeah, that board is not as strong as it was. It's still pretty powerful, but not as strong at all.
Ooh, and Code has to play the tuning to attempt to get extension to play through the board, which gives the Jackal enough to actually be able to contend with it, which is weird.
Yeah, you just basically given TRIF an additional negation that he didn't previously have, which is interesting.
It's a quick draw synchron. That's interesting. Summons the Guardian.
We're seeing more of Guardian than we've actually seen of Adamancipators so far. This is
For sure, indeed, yeah. He's just gonna go to battle phase here.
Really wants to get rid of that. They're going for Appaloosa.
Well, yeah, that's just 2 negates. Like, because I think Adamancipator can easily play through just 1 negate. So.
I see that logic, at least. Definitely, I was gonna say that, like, because he was able to only make the Appaloosa with 2, so she was weak. She was only at 18, so why not just get rid of it with 1 card and then go off?
I mean, he's got enough to deal with Jackal now with Guardian on board. So
yeah, so I think as long as he mills okay, especially with having the quick draw in his hand, I think he'll definitely have enough steam to take this, and he can either get another Guardian or a Doki. So I think Code's in a really good spot right now.
Yeah,
indeed. He goes for the Doki.
Be interesting if he drops a level 4 off the Doki, if he brings out the Analyzer for an additional mill as well. His board could go crazy. Or bring back a YuGiOh. Got your good guys to go from there.
Yeah, I think at this point it's gonna be all in Code's court now. It's especially getting the Analyzer. If he's able to hit a Dwarf at some point, I think that'll just be over.
Sure.
I think
Neosinat is a miss.
Yeah, missed.
Yeah, that's a miss. Ooh, rough. I mean, he still has enough to do a lot, though.
Yeah, because right here he can just make the Herald and then go into the Granite, or he can go Halka-Fabrics. That's better.
Yeah. Go 5 hits the field with no way to stop except Echo, but which would be met with Guardian. So
at what point would you say for TRIF to use Jackal though? You know it's always going to get met with Guardian, and you know eventually Code is going to go into the Dragite to start spinning things back.
He just has to hope that his opponent does a random misstep here and there. Like, that's literally the best case scenario he has.
I mean, here should come the Dragite or the oh no,
Marcher. Yeah, I don't know. It is rough. Getting for the misstep could be the way to go, but like it's rough because yeah, it'll instantly get met and it won't basically mean anything, which is also kind of good because Cole basically puts him in check here a little bit. It's like, yeah, so I don't know how this turn ends. The good thing is that this is main phase 2, so he's not going to be dying this turn.
Oh, you hit the Dwarf as well. I mean, you've easily got a Synchro level 8 just using the O-line and the Raptite and that. And
he actually can't do that because the Raptite is a tuner from the Martial Metal Marcher.
Right.
However, he is very good at remembering that, so If he gets something else, he'll be fine. But right here, he can either go Dragite or he can go into the Granite, which he is going to go into the Granite, get the Block Dragon, and now it should 100% be game from this point.
Dude, chat, we got over 300 watchers. Good job, guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Here comes Block. How long is Block going to stay in the game for once we get out of...
Oh no, Block is gone. He need to get out of here. I've been talking about Block Dragon at locals with people for a while now. Like, before this even happened, I was just like, you should not be able to do things like that. Like, what? Add 3 cards? What? Protect my monsters? What? Keep coming back with no restriction? No.
Yeah, even if Block gets banned, though, like, Adamancipator still has so many plays, so it'll still be a top contender, just not to the overpowering degree that it is now.
Without a doubt. Do you think that then, in that case, that the Eldritch deck will just continue to grow and grow and grow, or do you feel that there's a way to adapt Adamancipators that they will still be able to compete on the same level as Eldritch?
That is a very good question.
Oh yeah, 100% I think they can, just because, especially with the consistency and power that Adamancipator has just as a deck in general, especially if they do a nice little, like, you know, slap on the wrist to Adamancipator, I easily think this could be, like, this format of these 2 decks can go on for a while. Eventually we'll get, like, a bit more variety, but for now, I think these will be around for at least 6 months or so. I don't think it's smart to get rid of them now.
Sure. When we see him make a Phoenix to take out the scale there, that's, ooh, unicorn.
Code must feel like insanely confident right now, because all of the cards he's making to pick the board apart could have been done by maintaining hand resource. No, if you find a way of easier getting into Dragite, you
the
maintain
thing is, though,
more
he's going to
resources.
recur everything off of the Block Dragon, so he's easily going to have the resources to be fine at that point.
Yeah, that's a good point. At least there, we can see that happening right now. So it's almost like those discards didn't matter at all. Like, it was just for free, for real.
Yeah, and it was Quick Draw and Doki, so they weren't really doing anything to contribute to this end board as much. He still needs to find a way into Dragite. You're definitely correct, and I don't know. He needs to, like, get access to... I don't know yet.
This line of play is interesting, but, like, he's surgically removing TRIF's board here. And, again, the dilemma is the Guardian versus Jackal right here. So it's, like, really not ever a good time, it seems.
Ooh, and we can hit the Doki or the Guardian. I think Doki's definitely the right pick right here, so hopefully that's what he does.
Doki will give you the access into your Dragite, but then you lose the Guardian negate.
And that's what he's going to end up doing. Yeah, because I know when I played against him yesterday, he was definitely very mindful of it, so definitely not a slacker. I think he's topped a few of these events, or done pretty well in them, so...
We featured him quite a bit on stream, and yeah, he's been doing really well, so for sure, he's no slouch. And there it is, Dragite.
All he needs is 2 rock, and then that should be game again.
Yeah, because if he just hits 2 rocks, I don't think there's much more TRIF can do.
It's top decking at this point.
I mean, there's not a single card in Pendulum that could recur, is there?
Not that I know of, but if anybody would know, it would be in TRIF's deck.
I mean, Dragite hit 2, spin back, and then if Code plays Tornado Dragon just for safekeeping to deal with anything TRIF might drop,
Oh, here comes the
Right to the-
Anaconda.
Ow.
Yeah, 100% Code has this game now. Just dropping the Anaconda, summoning the Neos, spinning everything back. He has a negate for all of it, so TRIF is top decking, but his opponent's gonna at least just have plenty of negates, so it's just not even gonna matter.
Dude, he can't stop this because Guardian will just say no. There it is. Rainbow Neos for the second time, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think I started the day thinking I would say Rainbow Neos being an MVP player in an Adamancipator Pendulum matchup.
Right? Hey, this is the players only invitational. So you had to get an invite to even be playing yesterday or today. So the best of the best, definitely slugging it out. Some crazy spicy things that we haven't seen yet. Innovation is just crazy lately with this meta.
Is it bad that part of me really wants to see TRIF just, I don't know, heart of the cards, rip something off the top of that deck that's going to change this board completely?
Sure, I would
Yeah.
love that too, but it looks like that is it.
Hey everyone.